how do you, as an investor, profit from this small business world? And one of the things I'm particularly interested to hear from you is you cut across like a whole range of businesses. You're dealing with companies that are sort of very high tech, and you own some yourself, all the way through to very traditional,
just boring, normal.
Which the companies I love. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in investing that people should be looking at or looking forward?
Yeah, so trends in investing, well, in the 2010s right up to the 2020s, the rates of people investing in small companies was dropping and dropping and dropping because the rates of return in property and big companies, the FTSE 100 and the Dow and the NASDAQ, was so good. And it was kind of like, a lot of great little companies would go out to investors and say, can you invest in my small tech company? And people would say, well, why wouldn't I just invest in Google and Facebook and Netflix? And
they're still growing like a small cap.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's changed is that because of the marketplace in 2020 and the returns have gone off a cliff and the valuations have dropped and all that sort of stuff, actually what's funny is what you see in the top end of business is the mirror image in the bottom end of business. So investors say, okay, well, you know what, I'm not getting any returns if I go in, or it feels very risky to go into the big companies. So I want to have a look at what's coming up, and I want to have a look at what companies are going to benefit from the 5G revolution, what companies are going to benefit from a changing economy, what companies are going to benefit from an aging population going into retirement. So they're looking at the new trend companies and the new innovative entrepreneurs a lot harder than they would have just a few years ago or even a few months ago.
Okay. And you've actually you do your own investing, and you've acquired a number of companies, which is kind of the ultimate form of investing. Yep. What are some of the decisions, and I guess what are some of the mistakes either you've made or you've seen other people make when they go into the small business space?
So the biggest mistake is thinking that all entrepreneurs are performance entrepreneurs. And actually, 75 to 90% of all entrepreneurs actually just want lifestyle. They want freedom, they want fun, flexibility. And what that translates into is that when they hit about 12 people on the team, they don't want to really go much beyond that. Believe it or not, I know that sounds so crazy, but you might get someone who's super ambitious, but then they go up to about 12, 13, 14, 15 people. And the type of person who often starts with a blank sheet of paper doesn't like rules, doesn't like structure, and they wanted to do this fun, creative thing, and now it's turned into a bunch of board meetings and strategy meetings and following through on what they said they would do and all that sort of stuff. So the vast majority of entrepreneurs are actually not investable, but there are a couple of opportunities in that. Number one, when you learn how to spot the entrepreneurs who are investable, then actually you realize they're not in as much competition as you'd think. Most people are going to drop out of the race very early on, more early on than you'd think. And the second thing is that there's a lot of great companies that get to a few million in revenue and then the entrepreneur's disengaged. And actually that's just about the time where you could take it over and give it a real run.